Hi guys, so Chaos Reigns, the DLC for Mortal Kombat 1 recently came out a few days ago, and a lot of people seem to have quite a few thoughts on it, as you generally would, and a lot of them are pretty negative, some are positive, and I thought that it would be a good idea for me to at least leave my opinions here. You will learn very soon, if you couldn't already, that this is completely unscripted. I just wanted to get my thoughts out, and also I just wanted to mention that I'm very sorry for not uploading for about a fortnight now. I have had quite a busy last sort of week. I have been working on a massive video, but I was having issues with it, and if that was my next video, my video after my previous one wouldn't be out until like November, and I thought that would be a bit strange. So I wanted to at least get a couple videos out before that massive one comes out. But yeah guys, let's just get into it. I do hope you enjoy the video. Let me know what you thought of the DLC, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because I cover not just Mortal Kombat but GTA, Fortnite, games like that. Anyways, so let's actually take a look into the story. I will say that there won't be too many spoilers. I will try to avoid it, but if you haven't played it, I will definitely try to put up like a spoiler thing on the screen just so you know if I'm about to say anything. As I said, it's unscripted, so there's a chance I will accidentally spoil something. I am going to cover story elements, but I won't give away like endings and stuff like that. But I think that the story starts off pretty strong. We start off with Cyrax and Sector just training. It's pretty cool. Not too much to say about that. I think the first chapter and probably the second chapter as well are definitely the strongest parts of this story. So here's where there will be a tiny bit of a spoiler, not really, but because they gave it away in the trailers. But in chapter 1 we play as Cyrax and we invade Kuai Liang or Scorpion's wedding. And here is an actual spoiler. Harumi, which is his wife, doesn't die for once. She actually does live. But at the end of this chapter, Cyrax turns on Sub-Zero and Sector and appears to leave the Lin Kuei. It isn't really outright said, but it definitely sounds like she doesn't want to be working alongside them anymore. Chapter 2 sees Sector and Sub-Zero being captured and taken before Melina, and she's ultimately deciding whether to kill them or not before Havoc from another timeline pops up with all of his Chaos dudes, and they just start wrecking shit. There's not too much to say about chapter 2. We play as Sector here, and it all, as far as I can remember, takes place in the Edenia stage, although I'm pretty sure in MK1 it is just a part of our world. Either way, it is a pretty cool stage, and they also added a damaged version and a night version, which is pretty cool. Something that I also want to mention is that in this update, they did add a bunch of new stages, which all look really cool, and they added day and night cycles for some of them as well, which was also pretty cool. Although I will say I'm not a big fan of the 4 new stages they added. I think they're all kind of bland. They are very cool and very stylistic, but I think that the 4 stages they added for MK11 in the Aftermath DLC were just a bit better. But then this is where I have an issue with the game, because after this, we're chucked into this sort of chaos, like Havoc situation. I don't know what to even call it. It's like it's not a maze, because it sort of is a maze. You're in his Colosseum and you can't get out. And for some reason, I have no idea why, we play as Tanya and Rain from another timeline, which is super random because with Aftermath, we played as the DLC characters like Fujin and Nightwolf and Sindel, characters like that were DLC. But in this we play as the 3 new characters and then just Tanya and Rain, which I found incredibly random. 2 characters that I'm personally not interested in, and I'm pretty sure that their chapters were like 6-7 fights each, whereas in the normal game most were 4 and I think some had 5 fights. But in this one there's some that have like 6-7 fights, and it is just incredibly boring. And I thought that the story here just sucked. Like I was just waiting for these chapters to be over so we could get out. Now I will say that I think that the final chapter, which is Noob Saibot, is definitely a step in the right direction, at least from what was set up in the first 2 chapters. The middle is where it really stumbles and gets boring, but at the end and the start is where it is really good. I think Noob's chapter is pretty cool, although Bihan being my favorite character, I was definitely really disappointed with how it ultimately turned out. They were able to, again, I don't really want to spoil much, but in, I believe the 3rd chapter of the DLC maybe, it might have actually been later, I don't quite remember, we see Noob Saibot for the first time, and he's his normal noob self. But then they turn him not evil. They cleanse him of Havoc's, shit. I don't know what to call it. He's Khaos, I guess. And then he's still a villain. Like, he works with them, but he's like still really pissed off. He's still trying to fight people. It's really strange. I wanted them to try and make him a good guy. I know he was never really a good guy, but he still defended Earthrealm at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say on that. I think it was really disappointing. Him being, okay, spoiler here, him being the one to kill Havoc was definitely a nice little way to end it, at least for me, because he is my favorite character. But I think that it's very strange because we don't really know if he died, because he wanted to kill Havoc, but Liu Kang was like, nah bro, you can't do that. So Havoc can just like grow arms out, like he can lose an arm, grow one back, and then he just creates another Havoc. So it's like he isn't dead. Like, there's no way he's dead. He'll definitely come back. And they put Bihan, Noob Saibot, whatever you want to call him, in this like coffin thing and just left him there. Like, it is such a weird ending. And then at the end, it just ends with Cyrax joining the Lin Kuei. Like, I'm not the Lin Kuei, sorry, the Shiroryu, which is just incredibly random. Like, it was just such a weird ending. Like, it feels unfinished, it feels rushed, and it was really short. It is not worth the amount you have to pay for it. I don't really know what they were thinking with this story. I think Aftermath is definitely better. I think the base story is definitely better. This one is like 2 hours long, I'm pretty sure. That might even be an exaggeration. I don't even know if it's that long. It definitely went by really quick. The first bit, I was like, this is really good. And then with that whole maze thing with Tanya and Rain, I was like, okay, this is dragging. Like, this is so boring. And then as soon as you get out of that, it basically just ends in a chapter. And it's really disappointing, to be honest. That's really what I feel about it. In terms of the story, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. That might be being generous. The overall DLC, though, I would give about an 8 out of 10. That's because they did a lot of stuff outside the story that was really good. They added the Tales of Time, which is really good. I think that the 3 new characters that they added are all actually really fun. Some of the most interesting characters in the game in terms of gameplay and design. I think that the changes they made to cameos and other like base roster characters were really good. I think that overall it was a really good DLC, but the story was the biggest letdown, unfortunately, which sucks because that's what most people were really excited for. This was completely unscripted, as you can tell, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there because this DLC had a lot of potential, but unfortunately I just feel like it failed in a lot of areas. So let me know what you thought about this DLC. Again, I tried to keep spoilers at an absolute minimum. I didn't really want to give away too much. If you want to hear spoiler conversations, let me know and I can do a video on that. If you want me to play through it, like on a live stream or in a video, even though I have already seen it, if you want to see my thoughts more in depth, I can do that as well. So let me know what you guys thought of the DLC, everyone. I hope you've had a great day and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone.